Filipino, Loving Mental Health Rocks presents Unspoken Words, questions to be asked and stories to be told. Sensitive topics will be discussed. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy.
Greetings, listeners and viewers alike. I am Luis along with my co host Yuri. Recent research reports an increasing number in mental health conditions of Filipino youth. Actually, according to the Department of Education, 1 in 5 Filipino students experience mental health concerns. Yet, the stigma remains. The struggling are looked down upon, perhaps even belittled by many around them. And more than that, we can actually see how poorly discussed the topic of mental health is in the country.
And that's why we're here today to host this podcast. Through this podcast, we plan to combat the lack of understanding and the stigma towards mental health by raising awareness through this podcast. But what exactly are we going to talk about, Luis?
Well, Yuri, we've gathered some questions about mental health from students, from DLSU students, and we've also made some of our own. And today, we'll be asking these questions to Miss Myka, a mental health professional, in hopes to learn and discuss about mental health. So good morning, Yuri. Good morning, listeners and viewers. And good morning po, Miss Myka. So I guess the first question would be, what is it actually that you do po as a mental health professional? And if it's alright po, a short introduction for the podcast po.
Thank you, Gabriel and Yuri, and all your group members, for inviting me to your podcast. I'm very happy that you're having this topic on mental health, and I guess this is also an advocacy of mine because it's also my profession. I'm a university counselor. I work for the academy. I handle the strands of ADP and STEM sections I to O. And basically, I offer counseling, academic counseling, career counseling, but most importantly, mental health counseling, for mostly for senior high school students.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Myka, for the wonderful introduction. That was good. So, yeah. Let's get on with the prompts and questions. So, we'll be asking... we did a survey around last week asking for questions and messages from the student body. And here is the first one. So this is from an anonymous student from STEM 8. She said that, I always feel insecure about being successful in the future. I'm the type of person who sets high goals that are hard to achieve. So I constantly push myself to reach them. I often feel anxious whenever I think I might not be able to achieve these goals, such as getting into a college that I really like. And her question is, why do I always feel anxious about my future?
Okay, so we're really starting off strong, on our first question. I think because we'd like to also take a look at human nature first, because as humans, I think we're naturally wired, really to look for threats, and anything uncertain or anything that we cannot really predict is considered a threat. So we haven't really evolved from our hunter-gatherer caveman days where we're looking at our environment for threats. And when we talk about the future, it's really uncertain. It's really something that we cannot predict. And I'd also like to talk about anxiety. The nature of anxiety, it's two things. Number one, you mentioned the person is scared about the future even though I think she's an achiever, So, number one is because anxiety, you have a belief that, number one, the situation that you're about to face is either uncontrollable, overwhelming, or threatening. That's the first aspect of anxiety. And number two, you believe that you do not have the capability to cope with it. So it's a double whammy. The situation is threatening, and number two, you don't believe that you can deal with it. Now, anxiety, actually, a healthy dose of anxiety is okay. Diba? There's what we call normal anxiety, which is, when you're facing a test or when you're preparing for a podcast like this, no, you might have nerves, you get anxious, no, as we're doing this. And that's normal because you're facing a challenge, no, and it helps you prepare. But what happens is when anxiety gets overblown, and you start to not get grounded in reality anymore. Okay, so you kind of overblow the situation out of proportion, or you underestimate your own ability to deal with it. No, so what's important is that person, whoever asked that, grounds herself in reality. No, do the things that she can do with the things that she can control, and those that she cannot. No, um she prays about it, she leaves it up to God, and she asks for help, no, from other people. Okay.
So, Miss, you would say that being anxious is somewhat normal po,
Yes.
and that
It's a survival, yeah. And that.
and that there's actually a good effect of anxiety po.
Yeah.
I mean-
if we don't let it, go to the extremes na we're not functional anymore. No, kasi anxiety kasi is a sign for us that I'm not feeling so good about this. Maybe I have to prepare or do something. Right? No, so if we're not really anxious, parang we're just letting things come to us without any preparation. No, but you have to take care that it's not overblown or not rooted in reality anymore. Okay?
Yes, Miss. Kwento lang from me.
Okay.
So, relating to what Miss said, I don't think I have anxiety, but of course I get really anxious when work piles up, when academic work piles up, and I think although sometimes I agree with Miss na anxiety does help me prepare, it like rushes my brain to do things. Sometimes when, as you said po, sometimes when I get overwhelmed, when I overestimate, I guess, overthink about these things, it demotivates me. So
Yeah.
I really do agree with what you said po na too much anxiety can be good to help you prepare, stress can be good to help you prepare, but too much, of course, that hurts.
Oo, parang relate kayo, no?
Alright.
Your students, your experience, yeah.
Next question?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is from Anonymous, from Stempy. Let's wait for the train to pass by. Okay. So as someone who overcame a severe stage of skin disease that contains painful rashes, my mental health alongside my physical health was all over the place. If you were in my shoes, her question is, if you were in my shoes, how would you respond to the situation and how would you take care of your mental health? In terms of mental health, what is your advice to people like me who are experiencing diseases like this? So there's actually two questions here po. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's a very good question because I'm actually in her shoes. No, this is actually a very relevant question to me because I myself am a skin disorder sufferer. No, so I have a chronic skin issue. So when I heard your question, parang sabi ko, it's meant to be that I'm getting this question out of all the illnesses that could possibly come up. No, and number one is why is it affecting really physical and mental health? Because, the skin is the most visible organ of the body. Diba? That's the first thing you see. When you see a person, you see the skin. So, for me, parang when I was diagnosed, in 2006, I was diagnosed. Baka you weren't even born yet. No?
I wasn't.
In 2006. No? Sabi ko, bakit ba of all the organs in my body, it had to be my skin? No, kasi pwede namang nasa loob. It could be, something that I could hide with my clothes. But sometimes kasi it gets on your hands, on your face, no? So it's very affecting to the esteem, especially if you're a teenager. No, and you're gusto mong pumorma, gusto mo mag-makeup and all. So it really affects your esteem. No, and I don't know if the sender of the question is a boy or a girl, no, but it's different also if you're a girl and you're a boy. So my advice for that person would be number one is to develop a good relationship with your doctor, no, your dermatologist or whatever other doctors you need to consult, because it's important to take care of your physical health because it really affects also your mental health. Number two, take care that you manage your stress levels, because sometimes our physical illnesses are really triggered by stress. So napapansin nyo, nag-flare up yan pag panahon ng finals, panahon ng mga presentations. No, so make sure that that person really does her stress management techniques. Okay, and then number three is do not be afraid to talk to a professional. No, if you know that person, you can refer her or him to me. No, kasi I can offer counseling, no, for that. No, specific for dealing with illnesses and pain. Okay.
I mean, you know, I not to compare this to skin diseases because that is much heavier toll on people, but I hate my pimples. So I guess I can relate to that. Like, for some people, they can't control it, right, Miss? Because it's a disease, it's a condition. So yeah, I guess I can relate to how, like, sort of relate to how much it would affect me, because it's something that presents me, yet it's something that I can't control. So it affects my self-esteem, my image of myself. If I have pimples, and I do see how that would affect someone's mental health. What do you think, Yuri?
Yeah. I don't really have like any.
You don't have pimples?
Well,
Wow.
I do, but
Sana all.
I do have pimples. But I don't know. I guess for me, I think I've learned to just, I guess, not think about it as much. I guess for me at least, I don't know if it works for other people to just, I guess, quote unquote, ignore the like object of your stress. But for me, it works. So yeah.
So not really, you don't really ignore it. More like it just doesn't bother you now.
Yeah, it doesn't bother
Yeah.
me, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a coping kasi. Yeah, that's true.
But Miss, do you think that's from your perspective, is it okay that we ignore some of these things that bother us, or is it better to deal with them?
Ignoring kasi is coping. I mean, it can help you for the moment, but siguro ignoring, maybe siguro reanalyzing the importance of it to you. Like siguro making it not the center point of your life, because you're more than your pimples, you're more than your skin. Diba? You have other things to offer than just that. I mean, it doesn't take away the fact that it affects you, but you look at other things that you can offer that are positive, no, that can lessen the impact of that on your esteem. No, so make sure to still do your yung mga facial routines to lessen it, no? Hindi naman hahayaan mong tubuan ka na ng pimples na lang kasi wala ka nang pakialam, no? So you do something about it, but you have other things to offer. So yun yung isipin mo. Work on the other things para hindi ka masyadong ma-affect nung bagay na yun.
That's great advice. I agree with that. Completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah. Next question. This one is another anonymous message / question. It's their pronouns is she her, by the way. So yeah. Their message is, as an academic achiever, my old classmates used to look up to me as someone smart and diligent. However, I'd always find myself cramming deadlines, procrastinating, and being too lazy to even get out of bed in the morning to do my responsibilities. I also struggled to learn new topics and take more time to understand them than my current blockmates. Being the president of my block, the feeling of imposter syndrome has been growing increasingly, making it difficult for me to perform well. I've always put immense pressure on myself, especially since it is my first time being assigned to this role. I constantly doubt whether I truly deserve this role or not, or if I deserve the honor student title and the medals I have received over the past few years. I start to feel bad for my blockmates who have entrusted me to become class president. Her question is, how can we eliminate the feeling of imposter syndrome, trust ourselves, and have a strong sense of self-love? Yeah.
Thank you for that question. First of all, no, a little self-doubt, no, is actually good. No, again, it's okay to have doubts. It's okay to start questioning, no, because it shows humility also that you don't know everything. No, not knowing everything is different from I don't know anything. Diba? Which is what imposter syndrome is talking about. Na parang I don't know anything, I don't deserve this. But healthy self-doubt is you realize that you don't know everything, you're open to learning, you're open to growing, no? But going back to imposter syndrome, no, it's actually very a very popular research topic. No, they're actually doing a lot of researches on this. And what I want to point out is that no, sometimes kasi we take our minds too seriously. No, we take our thoughts to be true all the time. But what I want to tell you is sometimes no, thoughts are just thoughts. Thoughts are not facts. And thoughts really do not have meaning unless you start attaching meaning to them. Okay? So we have to take care kasi our mind, as I said before, diba? Our mind hasn't really evolved much from our forefather days, no? Technology has evolved, but our minds are still quite primitive in the sense that it assesses threats all the time. Okay? So we have to be careful kasi baka our mind is the one that's the impostor and it's telling us messages that, we have to challenge, we have to siguro not always believe in all the time. Okay? So yung case na sinabi ninyo, no, I think her motivation is being affected already, like her functioning is also being affected. So it's good that she consults with a counselor or she talks to her parent about it. No, but one thing also you can do, so I'll give you tips no how you can fight imposter syndrome. Number one is to open up to people because sometimes we feel that we're the only ones experiencing something, not that we're the only ones having doubts. But if you talk to your classmates, no, you realize that ay sila rin pala, they also doubt themselves. No, I'm not the only one feeling this way. And you can also look at your role models, people you look up to. They could be athletes, singers, no, celebrities that you look up to, your parents even, and you will find that in their successes, they went through periods of self-doubt. No, so it's normal to actually go through these. Number two, be open to accepting compliments from people or positive feedback. Di ba pag tayo sinasabihan tayo ng compliment, parang we reply, uy, chamba lang yan, wala yan, nagkataon lang, swinerte lang. Di ba? But, sometimes we have to accept that we did a good job, we pat ourselves on the back, and, we realize that people really appreciate us and see something worthy in us. Okay? Number three, siguro make an accomplishment jar or an accomplishment list. We're very familiar with gratitude jar, no? But an accomplishment jar, those are little things that you consider a win in a day. No, it doesn't have to be big things. No, you can start with small wins like getting up with just the first ring of my alarm clock today or not being late for school. So those are little wins that you can celebrate. Okay, and then number 4, learn to also go out of your comfort zone. Not siguro take reasonable risks, because if you always stay in your comfort zone, you won't build your self-esteem muscles. No, you have to stretch a little bit and challenge yourself, because you get to learn a lot about yourself when you challenge yourself. Okay? And then another one, no, another siguro tip is yeah, embracing positive self-talk also. No, so this one, the counselor can help him or her with this. That if she or he has a problem with talking positively to the self.
This, are you gonna say something?
Oh yeah. I think I can relate a bit to their situation. At least to some extent, I used to relate, because before, during like junior high school or even during elementary, I used to like absolutely hate compliments. Like I always felt like I didn't deserve compliments for some reason. I think I was just, yeah, it's just like what you said. Parang sa tingin ko parang chinamba ko lang, I just got lucky and stuff. Pero nung around like grade 9 and grade 10, which is like after the pandemic, we were going back to face-to-face modality. I think just by being with my classmates again, being with my friends again, interacting with more people, I think I was able to build my self-esteem and like confidence build my confidence, which in turn just got rid of the feeling that I am unworthy of, I guess, praise. So yeah.
The
I'm happy for you, Yuri, that you're able to find that.
the imposter syndrome, is that what it's called? It hit me really hard when I got into LaSalle, actually. So I'm not I'm not like egotistical. I'm not egotistical, but once I started seeing how much smarter my classmates are compared to me. Again, I don't want to compare myself to my classmates, and I'm not egotistical, but I guess it just told me about how, or it made me feel like I was kind of sort of delayed in terms of academics, and in terms of my class, I'm on the lower end. And is that right, Miss? Is that what imposter syndrome is? May you define that, because I'm not sure.
It could be, but kasi imposter syndrome, it usually manifests itself, no? It can happen to anyone, but usually it happens in high achieving people, no? Who, even with all the accomplishments and all the medals and all the, they get elected for positions, they still feel that, they're not worthy of it.
Yeah.
Okay? What you're going through, Gabriel, no? You're not the only one, no? I have clients who are going through what you're going through. It's an adjustment period, no? You're only grade 11, right? Grade 11?
Opo.
Oo, grade 11, you're in grade 11, you're in the first term of first year of senior high school. No? So, you're in the adjustment period. But, I'm glad you're acknowledging, these feelings. You're very honest about it, very brave to also admit it. No? Oo. Pero yun, no? The fact that andito kayo, nakapasa kayo sa LaSalle, no? So, just always go back to that.
Thank you for that, Miss. Because it's really, I think, the biggest effect. It has the biggest effect on my mental health. That imposter syndrome. Because
Yeah.
I think I'm doing good, but I also think I'm not doing enough. But so thank you, Miss, for that, for those advice.
This has been part 1 of the podcast. Come and watch part 2 and part 3 and leave us a response through our evaluation form or by leaving a comment. Thank you.